Are you looking for a laser engraver or craft cutting machine all in one? This may be it. Stay tuned. This video is sponsored by xTool, the maker of laser engravers, and now this hybrid cutting machine. We received a laser tool, the D1 by xTool, in the spring, and we've been working with that. And they have a new hybrid machine that they've been working on. So we're going to unbox this, we're going to set it up, and we're going to play around with it and see what it can do. So first of all, opening this up, it is all in one. So it is kind of like a large printer, I guess you could say. And this here is the final version. There's some other videos out there where they had the beta version. They've had some testing going on for, I believe, the last year anyway. Now this comes with the new Rotary Tool. This is the Pro Pack, and it's the 10-watt version. So getting into it, we'll open this up. We've got Rotary accessory kit here. And this box says it's the risers. So you'll need the risers to actually lift up the machine if you're doing any kind of rotary or you're using any materials that may be larger than the height. All right, getting into this, opening up the styrofoam. It's nicely well packaged here. We've got another box on this side, and this is the premium material package. So they send you some samples here of some materials so you can play around with and kind of get the hang of it. So we'll go through these in a moment. And then we have another box in here. What do we got here? This is the actual rotary accessory itself. So we'll get into that. This is the new rotary. It's kind of a chuck type system. I found that their original one, which just had rollers, was a little touchy on certain types of materials. I tried to do a Yeti mug, and because it is somewhat slippery stainless steel, I found that the rollers didn't grab a hold of it. So with this one, it actually has a chuck that holds on to it, so you get a better turn. So I'm excited to try that one out as well. It also has batch technology, which you can put in multiple items. And it has a 16 megapixel camera that's located inside it, so it'll take a snapshot of your work and then you can go ahead and edit that right on your PC. So without further ado, let's pull this out. And is there anything in? No. My assistant off to the side here is going to
cat box.
It's going to move a cat box. Yeah. We have 6 cats here. You may see one wander around. I can see a few kind of going off in the distance here. All right, so this is the unit. Here we go. We have some more items inside here. So we'll open this up. See what we got. We have our user's manual. Of course, we'll have to have a look at that. We have, with the D1, they also gave a little sample package as well. There's a little dog tag in here. We have now 2 of these dog tags, but unfortunately we have 3 dogs, so we may have to get some more. There is a piece of basswood in here, as well as it looks like some vinyl. This will also do decals, so you can cut it out and you can do some decaling either on a mug, or you can, I guess, put it on your car if you want, if you have a small business. Set that off. This does have an exhaust ventilation fan, and they give you one of these slinky type exhausts that will mount onto the back here. They also have the mounting bracket that will also attach to the back, so we'll get into that. And then of course you've got your power tools, or your power adapter. And I was reading this here tool, xTool. This is the blades. So these are 5 replacement blades that we'll put into the cutter. So we got that, we'll set that aside. This is the clamp to hook on. What have we got here? Yeah, this is the clamp to hook on to your exhaust port when we set that up. And then there is your USB. Now apparently this will work both locally with USB, as well as hooking up to your Wi-Fi network. So if you have a good Wi-Fi signal in the area you're going to use this, you should be able to really work on this any computer in the house and then send the project to the unit. And then what you'll do is you'll go and you'll press this button here once you're ready to go, because of course for safety reasons you want to make sure that you are in the area and watching it while it's working, especially with the laser. So we'll pull this out. And what else do we have here? We have, oh, this looks like the screws for our mounting adapter for our exhaust vent. And then down in here we have, these are the triangular prisms. So what these are is, because there is no honeycomb grill on the bottom of the unit, they have these triangular type rods that you'll set down, and then you'll place your material on top of that when you're doing any kind of cutting through, so as not to cut into the base plate inside the machine. All right, so they give you two pads, and what these are is you have a fabric grip and a light grip. So what I believe these are for is if you're doing the cutting, you want to make sure that your pad, your workspace, and your materials are firmly attached, because of course with the laser it doesn't touch the material, but with the cutter, the cutting tool itself, it does. So these basically have two sides of them that have a plastic. You'll pull the plastic off the back, and then you will mount this with your grid pattern down onto the bottom, and then peel off the top, and then your material, fabric or leather or vinyl, can then attach to that. Keep your work materials in place. So we have another little piece of styrofoam here holding the unit in place. So as you can see here, that's the laser. And underneath here, it does have a string of lights. So there's LED lighting to light up your project. And then there's a 16 megapixel camera, as I mentioned, up in here that shoots down in your workspace. There's also a laser over, I believe it's over in this area here, that shoots down at your project and onto your work material. So it can auto detect the height. Now the D1 actually has a little kickstand that you'll drop down and manually set the focal length. This one actually does it automatically, so that's nice and handy. The only other thing we have on the back here is we've got a couple ports. It looks like we have an accessory port here. We have our power port, our power switch, and our USB. So starting off with the rotary accessory. So we open this up here, and of course we've got our nice manual and how to operate it. It is a 3-piece unit, and with this, as I mentioned, there is a chuck that will grab a hold of your project, and there's a few little risers here. One of them being you can take and do some glassware, some wine glasses, and you can attach it into the chuck, and then there's a little riser you adjust for the stem, so you can make sure everything is level and everything will turn properly. Then we get into the unit itself, and here it is here. So we've got what looks very similar to the original rotary tool, which is this here. It is adjustable, so you have an A, B, and C, so you can adjust your one. Depending on your work project, you can move it right up. If you're maybe engraving pencils or pens, you can pull it back to the other two settings for larger items like glasses. So that is that. There is the cord, and yes, that is the accessory part on the back of the machine that this plugs into. So that'll go into there. So opening this up, we have, yes, we have, it looks like some riser feet of some sort. No, some clamps, some, yeah, some little risers it looks like. So we'll get into that, figure out exactly what this does. Comes with all the tools you need. Has a little chuck here, and then it has different size risers. And that probably attaches to this tool here, as well as your chuck. So this is the actual chuck. I see how it goes. These two screws on the unit itself. The chuck will then attach to that. And it looks like they give you a little tape measure that you can, riser gear roller, riser gear chuck, and rotary attachment gear roller. So that's the items that are in here. And then you've got a little tape measure, vinyl tape measure to measure how far around the circumference you want maybe your logo. You want to make sure that it's visible and you can get your sizing right. Then we get into the xTool riser 4-piece. Now this is used if you're doing any kind of projects with the rotary tool. There is a plate in the base of the unit that comes out with 3 screws. Once that comes out, your roller attachment, your rotary attachment will sit directly on your workbench. And then the risers will actually rise the machine up to the proper height that you're laser engraving onto glass or larger wood or whatever larger projects. So these are them here. I believe there's 3 different size. There's 4 of these units, and there's 3 different risers. So they're wood blocks, and if you place the machine on it this way, you are getting a, looks like, if you're using this unit, they've got the RA2 rotary, which is the initial, and then the Pro, which is this one. So you're getting a height of 142 to 314 is your workspace. If you place it this way, you are getting 0 to 88 millimeters. And if you place your riser this way, you're getting 0 to 142 millimeters. So then you can place your machine on these riser blocks and get your height. And that is what's in there. And the last thing we have is the premium material box. This one is closed, so good thing I'm in the kitchen because I can get right into the drawer here. Open that up. And what do we have in here? So this is your premium package of materials. Again, you've got, what do we have here? Okay, so this just shows you, it's a little cheat sheet, it looks like. So it gives you different types of materials and how you should set the machine. Now the machine and the software does have pre-programmed materials, but this is a guideline as well as to show you for vinyl processing, your blade cut is 90 grams of pressure and the speed is 80 millimeters a second with 1 pass. So that is your little cheat sheet. You do have a little bag here. So if you were doing some, I believe it comes with some iron-on material as well, so you can practice with that. Make yourself a little bag before you get into mass producing materials. Then we've got what looks like maybe some keychain, little wood. They've got a hole punched in it, maybe to make keychains. We've got 2 packages of these for you to play with. And getting into the batch processing, as I mentioned earlier, you take these and place them all down. You set up your one. You get your design, your logo, whatever you want to put on that. You set that up, and then you'll hit a batch processing button, and it will then detect everything on your workspace and automatically populate all of your pieces with your artwork. Then you can do a fine adjustment and move things around if necessary, and then you're ready to go. So you don't have to copy, paste, drag it around, resize it. The machine will actually do it automatically. Then we get into, looks like a bunch of stuff here. We've got some basswood, we've got some plywood, we've got some, a bunch of paper products, some stock, paper stock. It looks like even maybe some plexiglass, some acrylic in there, sheeting. Then we get into, okay, so a coaster. So this, the diode laser engraver will engrave onto stone. So keeping that in mind, and these are some just pre-made coasters on a stone material. So we can laser engrave something on there, maybe a company logo. And then once you kind of get things down, you can then go online and order more materials. Then we have, if you want to make some fancy business cards, we've got some metal cards here that you can engrave. You can play around with that. We have what looks like maybe a phone holder or a card holder for your cards. So you can laser engrave maybe your logo on there as well. And then we have some live cut wood pieces here to do some projects. And then a bunch more metal material. There's a whole pack of what looks like, that's a card holder. So you can engrave on the front of that and put your cards in there, pop it in your pocket, ready for business. Some key chains and some, maybe some necklaces, a bunch of different things. There's another dog tag. Okay, so I have enough to do all 3 dogs. So there's a circle, there's a bone, there's a heart, and there's a little fish. Although I don't think fish would be able to swim very good if you put that around their neck. Then we move into some other materials here as well. This looks like some kind of vinyl. Maybe this is your iron-on material. And then you've got a whole bunch of other materials. So fabrics and cardstock. And then you get into vinyls, lots of vinyls. They really give you a lot of material in here. So this will keep us busy for some time. So that is the unboxing of it. We're going to take this all down to our laser room I have downstairs, and then start setting it up. So that is the first look and unboxing of the xTool M1 laser cutter and laser engraver. So if you are interested in this machine, if you're looking at buying one or you just want to see what they have, I encourage you to click that link down in the description. That goes back, and any sales come back to the farm. So we do get a small commission on the sales, and of course it goes to help out our animals. If you're new to this channel and haven't seen our animal videos, we run a nonprofit animal rescue, and we've got 7 years of videos on that, so you can always check that out as well. Currently there is no discount code because they do have great sales on this new release machine, but if there are any discount codes, I will be sure to also put that down in the description right by that link. So take care, have a wonderful week, and happy engraving. Take care. Bye-bye.